Okay, so let's begin now. So guys, everyone, as you know that Azure Databricks. Yes, guys, am I audible?
Yes, Amir, we
Yes,
can
Samir.
hear you.
Yeah, Azure Databricks is nothing but this is a cloud service. This is a cloud service, and whereas, as you know, this cloud service is used to uh, that is perform the following. That is nothing but we can perform the job of data migration. Then we have a data summarization. Hmm. And prior to the summarization, we can also do what's a data integration. Then the final stage, the data visualization. That's it, guys. Okay, these are all the things we have it. Hmm? So here we have what's that? The Azure Databricks is nothing but this is a cloud service which is provided in order to perform the following job. What is that? In order to perform the following job. What's that? Data migration, data integration, data summarization, and as well as the data visualization. Okay, guys. So that's it. Now, whereas the whole story, the whole graph starts from where? Yes, everyone, from where the whole graph starts here? The whole graph starts from the data. Am I right or not? Data means what, guys? In other words, I can say information. Am I right? Okay. So here we get the data or the information. So, guys, the whole business, the whole IT industry, everything is working on what? Data only, no? Am I right? Yes. Data is the mandatory input for all of us. If there is no data, nothing is there. Am I right? Yes. So let's work on this. So data. Data means what? Information. From where do we get the data? Generally, we get the data from the business, guys. Generally, we get the data from what's that? Business. We get the data from what's that? From the business. We get the data from the business. Yes, guys, everyone. We get the data from what? From the business. And now, what type of business we will be having? Tell me now, guys. Hmm? Everyone. What type of business we'll be having? As we know that we get the data from the business. What kind of business? Guys, we can have the data from what's that? Social networking sites. I'm just taking a vague example here. Social networking sites means what? Social networking sites is nothing but what? What are the social networking sites we have it? Yes, guys. Facebook is there. Yes. What is that? Facebook.
Yeah.
Mm, yes. Then Twitter. And then we have Instagram. Hmm?
Yeah.
LinkedIn. All these are the social networking sites where these sites generates the data in a massive amount or the massive format. That is called as what? Can we call it as a big data, guys? In fact, we can call it as a big data. Am I right? This is the one
Yeah.
source of generating the data. In the same way, we get the data or the information from the another source. What is that? That is nothing but the ultimately the business. We get the data from the business, whereas we get the data from the business, and we get the data from the business, and this business is called as what? The banking applications. Whereas this kind of a data will be what is that? More secure. Okay, not the open source data, we can say. It is more secure. So hence we can say that the data recorded in the banking applications will be mostly in the form of a databases. Am I right? Databases such as we can say Oracle database, we can say SQL Server database, Then we can have Teradata. All these are the databases where we get the information. So this is also what? This is also what, guys? This is also the big data. Even this data is referred as the big data. There is a massive amount of data. Okay. Though it is a on-premises data, these are all the on-premises one. So yesterday I told you what is an on-premises. Okay. So whereas, can you see here? This is on-premise. The data which is in the local system is called as a on-premises data. So here you have on-premises data. We can say stored in the that is the databases. That is, this is called the big data. Okay. So this is the data we have it. Whereas the next one, we get the data from what? Again, we get the data or the information from the business only. Business is the main source of getting the data, guys. So here we have it, the data we get it from the business. And now we can get the data from the live streaming process as well, which is a very, trending one right now, live streaming process. So we get the data from the live streaming process. So what do you mean live streaming process? Yes, guys, the data, continuous data, where we get to have, okay, continuous data, guys, where we can have what's it? Continuous data. Continuous data. So that is nothing but we can say stock market data. Okay, stock market data. Okay, there is a share market, we call it here. The next one is, what is that? We can have the continuous data that is called as cricket match, ongoing cricket match. Ongoing cricket match. Okay. So this data is also referred as what? Big data. Am I right? This all kind of data is called as what? Big data. So guys, here we have, can you see? The data which is captured in this one, that is the social networking sites, all this will be basically in the form of what kind? This will be in the form of a files, guys, mostly. Okay. And here, whatever files we can have it here. Yes, everyone. We can have the files, okay, such as we can have HTML files, then we can have XML files.
JSON format.
Yes, in the JSON form, etc. Okay, and sometimes even the CSV form, all this is the data we have it. Whereas this data, the data which we have it in the banking applications, as it's a data base, so data will be recorded here into the databases. Okay. So again, the live streaming process, this is nothing but a continuous process where we get the data and what we report the data. Generally, we don't, okay, there is a storage, but it will be stored in the REST API applications. REST API applications. Okay, REST API applications. Okay, so even I will tell you what is REST API applications, how does it works. Now, as of now, I can say the data which is stored in the websites, that is called as REST API applications. Okay, anyways, so these are the three types of data. So we can have it. Whereas the basic one for all this is nothing but called as what? Big data, guys. Big data. That is called as what? The massive amount of data. The massive amount of data. The massive amount of data. This is called as a big data. Massive amount of data. This is called as a big data. Massive amount of data is called as a big data. Now, guys, the big data. The big data is basically classified here into three categories. What is that three categories, guys? The first one, we can say this data is classified as a structured data. And the next one is, we can say this data can also be in the form of semi-structured data. And the third one, we can also say it as the data recorded in the form of a unstructured format. Unstructured data. That's it. Okay. So we have the following kinds of data we have it. So let us discuss what is a structured, what is a semi-structured, and what is a unstructured. So guys, what is structured data? Structured data is nothing but the data which is recorded in the proper form of a table. The data which is recorded in the proper form of table. What's that? The structured data is nothing but the data recorded in the proper form of a table. So what is the proper form of table, guys? That is nothing but, can you
rows
see?
and columns.
Yes. So in the form of rows and columns. So here, can you see? For an example, I'm taking name, ID, then I have a salary, then I have a job. These are the columns, guys. And these columns are followed by the rows here. So I'm just giving you the rows. So I can say, yes, can see alien is the row and some value here. And the salary is 40,000. And now, guys, the job is the clerk something. And again, you have what's that? Bobby. 3,000. And I can say software engineer. And then you have a Carl. And here I can say something like this, 60,000. SSC, very senior software engineer. That's it. This is the data we have. So this kind of a data, which is ready to use, which is called as a structured data, where this data is followed by what's it? Rows and columns. And now let us give the name of the table here as the employees. Okay, everyone. The name of the table is employees. And whereas this is followed by what's it? Columns and rows. And whereas these are called as the columns, guys. So this data is easily understand or easily understood by all of us. That is called as a structured data, guys. This is nothing but the structured data we have it. Okay, where these are the columns and these are the rows, below rows we have it. So we have how many columns? 4 columns and 3 rows. That's it. This is the data we have it. So hence this kind of a data we can call it as a structured data, guys. This kind of data is called as what? Structured data, guys. Whereas apart from this, guys, we also get the data in the semi-structured format. Means what? The data we get it in the semi-structured format. Means what? This data is not purely understandable by the user, but still it is in the understandable format. Not 100% understandable, but understandable in the format. Such as we can say this data is recorded in the form of what is that? JSON files or HTML files or the XML files. This is nothing but the data recorded in this one. So let us see all the files one after the other first. Okay. So what is a JSON file here? So as you know that the JSON is nothing but the JSON is a very major format right now, which is considered for receiving the data, where it stands for JavaScript object notation files. That's it. JavaScript object notation files, where the data is recorded in the form of a what's it? Key value pair. Key value pair. The data is recorded in the form of a key value pair, guys, where key value pair means what? The data which is recorded, which followed by the keys and the values together, they are called as the pairs. So what in by keys? Keys are nothing but these are called as the keys, guys. The column names are called as keys. And these are called as the values of the columns. Okay. Hence, we call it as what? Key value pair. And the key value pair is recorded in the form of a curly braces, guys. This is the curly brace. where this is called as a opening brace and this is called as a closing brace, guys. So how the data is recorded here? So make sure all the keys are kept in the quotes. Suppose I'm using name. So what is the value for the name, guys? The value for the name is Alan. So here the Alan will be recorded. Then the comma, that's it. Okay. The next key is what is it, you have it? All the keys are kept under the double quotes, guys. Second key is ID. Okay. And now the value. What is the value for this? The value is 122. Whereas this is the numeric data, so it is not kept under the quotes. Normal data, it will be written normally. Then again, comma. The next one is what? You have a salary. So salary is also the key here. Key means columns. Columns are kept under the quotes here. That's it. And now again use it here. The salary is what? 40,000. And next one, what is it? You have it? Job. So use it here, the job. And the job is what is it? You have it? Clerk. So clerk is a character data. No? So again, it's kept under the quotes here. That's it. So guys, finally, this is nothing but this is called as a closing of the tab here. That's it. Now, this is the first row. This is the first row, guys. So once you have first row, but how many rows are there, guys? Altogether, we have how many? 3 rows are there. So now, if you want to write the second row, the data will be given the comma. And now, after the comma, here the same data is written. Now, but now the values, whatever we have it, that has to be changed. Am I right? The values, whatever you have it, that will be changed here. What is that value will be changed? Let's try to see this. Instead of Alan now, what is the value written here? Bobby. Second row. So you can say 212. Salary is 50,000. And instead of clerk, we have it as software engineer. That's it, SC. And you have one more row here. So use a comma here. Then again, the same data is written. Now, instead of Alan, again the value here is a Carl. And again, this is 321, 60,000. So let us give SSC, Senior Software Engineer. That's it. So guys, this is nothing but the data written in the JSON format. But you can understand this data, but not clearly. Getting my point? This is called as a semi-structured data in the JSON format. In the same way, if you write this data in the XML format, how the data will be written in the XML format, let's try to see that also now. So now, here you have a XML format now. So when it comes to the XML format, it is called as extendable or exponential markup language. Extendable or exponential markup language. That's it. So the data will be recorded in the form of a tags here. These are called as tags, where this is called as a, guys, this is called as a root tag. This is called as a root tag. And whereas these are called as the row tags. There are two type of tags here. Row tag and root tag. So row tag means what, guys? The row tag. So root tag. Root tag is what? What is the name of the table here? You have it employees now. The employees will become the root tag. The employees will become the root tag. And now, guys, the data you have it. That is the rows will become the row tag. So now what is the first column name? Name. And now here the name, opening of the name. And this is the closing of the name tag. So opening will be as it is, but closing will be used with a slash. But whatever the value you have it, it's written in the middle, right, like this. Okay. So ALN is the value of the column, and name of the column is name, starting, and ending means what? That value is completed, it means. The next one, what's the next row you have it, guys, everyone? Yes? The next row is what? ID. Am I right? ID, opening ID. What's the value of the ID now? 122. And what's the closing ID? Yes, guys?
ID.
That's it. Ending. That's it. Now the next row is nothing but you have it here. Okay. Is the salary. And now the salary closing sal. Closing means this one. And now the value is the 40,000. And finally, you have what's it? Job. So job is this. And then we have what is it, guys? The job is the, yes, clerk. And now finally close it. It is highly case sensitive, guys. Use it as it is case. If the job is in the capital, you have to give it in capital. No smalls are allowed here. It's highly case sensitive. So this is the first value. Now once it is done, the second row, as it is the second row is written here, guys, everyone, as it is the second row. So copy this. The second row, but the values are changed here. What is that? The Bobby. And then next one is what? 212. 50,000. And here you have a software engineer. That's it, guys. Okay. The next one is, yes, guys. After this, the next row we have it. That is called as what? The call is the next one. Text. The value is what? The ID value is 321. And the value of the salary is 60,000. And instead of clerk, you have a senior software engineer. That's it, guys. That's it. So now the values are completed, everyone. Yes. 3 rows are written here. Yes. So finally, once the 3 rows are written, the root tag has to be closed. This is the opening of the root tag. Now the root tag is closed here. So how to close it? The same procedure. We write it here. Root tag and now slash. So this is how the data is written in XML format. Yes, everyone. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Even the JSON will have the root, something similar to the root tag, right?
JSON root tag. I don't think so. You'll have a root tag.
Like the table name, something like that. Because what we have given is the row, like suppose we have the table name, something similar to that. We should have the employee kind of stuff, right? Actually,
Yeah, that will be the file name will be there. Obviously, the file name will be there, but there will be no root tag and row tags in this. That is,
yeah,
you're talking about the nested JSON. You're talking about nested JSON. You're talking about.
right. Yeah, but maybe like something similar
Yeah,
to the head. Yeah,
yeah. So you can say that's nothing a kind of a nested JSON. Yeah, we can have it. That is a complex JSON file that we will discuss it once we get into the subject. Okay.
right.
Okay. So these are the things we have it. So next, finally, you have what's that? Unstructured data, guys. Unstructured data is nothing but there is no structure for the data. That means all the photos in your mobile phone, all the photos and all the videos. Okay. All the photos, videos, and chat histories. voice notes. This all comes under the unstructured data. Whereas in the real time, guys, this structured data occupies a very vital role where 80% of the data, guys, 80% of the data you will receive it in unstructured format. And only 20% of the data you will receive it in structured and semi-structured. So when we deal with the data, out of the only 20% only we will receive it. 20% we receive it in this form and as well as in this form. 20% of the data only we get it in the structured and semi-structured, but 80% of the data you receive it in the unstructured form only. This is the ratio we have it for the data. Okay. So, but this is the data now. In Azure, guys, now let's come back to the Azure now. In Azure, you use any service of the Azure. That is nothing but you can use it the ADB, or you can use the ADF, or you use the Synapse, or you use the Fabric, or you use the that is AI. Okay, Azure Open AI, you use it, or else use the Azure Machine Learning. Anything you use it in Azure, where this requires the storage to get the data. That means it will not have the data. ADB, ADF will not have the data. It has to take the data from the storages. So for that, we'll be using the Azure storages. What is that? Azure storages. Azure storages are those which stores the data in Azure, guys. Okay. So whereas every storage will have a format to store the data. That means every storage will have a format to store the data. Okay. So what is the format of storing? Let's try to see this. When we talk about the Azure storages, guys, we have altogether here 90 plus storages available. How many? 90 plus storages are available into the Azure. So what are those 90 plus storages? The first storage we can say, guys, Azure Blob Storage. So whereas the Azure Blob Storage is a storage, whereas we can say this as a very basic storage, and this can store the data. This can store the data in the following form. What is that? Azure. Okay, what's that? You can store the data in what's that? Whether you have the data stored in structured format, it can store the data in the structured form, semi-structured form, and the unstructured form. So we can store any kind of data, but this is called as a limited storage, guys. We can call it as what? Limited storage. So it can store up to limited. Okay, but we can store any kind of data. This supports any kind of data. Whereas the next one to this, again we had, okay, what's that? Azure Data Lake. We had it, guys, Gen 1. Now the Gen 1 is, it's not allowing. Okay, now the Gen 1 is not allowing because this is going to retire in 2024. So the Microsoft recommends to switch over the data or to migrate the data from the ADLS Gen 1 to what is that? ADLS Gen 2. ADLS Gen 2. This is the more advanced storage that is called as the ADLS Gen 2, where, guys, where the ADLS Gen 2 can also store all kind of data. What all kind of data? It can store the structured data, semi-structured data, and as well as the unstructured data. But this is called as unlimited storage. Here you can have what? Unlimited storage, guys. Unlimited storage. We can have unlimited storage for the data. Okay. That's it. We can have unlimited storage. Okay. We can have what? Unlimited storage. Next one. Apart from this, you can also have what's that Azure SQL database. This is SQL database means what? SQL server is the on-premises. Azure SQL database is the cloud database. Okay, guys. So here you have what's it? The Azure SQL database. As it's the Azure SQL database, we can store only the structured data. Semi-structured and unstructured is not supported here. That's it. Then apart from this, you can have what's it? Azure Cosmos DB.
What is the difference between 2 and 3? Can you come again? It has the same,
Yeah, sorry. This is Gen 2.
Right, thanks.
It's Gen 2, not the Gen 1, Gen 2. Now, guys, again, you have what's it? Azure is Cosmos DB. Cosmos means what? The Cosmos DB is called as the, guys, an advanced storage where it is called as a NoSQL database. That means this where the SQL is not used. When there is no SQL, that means you can store the structured and semi-structured. Unstructured is not supported here, but we can store the structured and semi-structured. Okay, that is called as Cosmos DB. Okay, whereas the next one we have it here as the Azure Synapse Analytics. Azure Synapse Analytics. This is called as the data warehouse of Azure. Every cloud database or every cloud environment will have a database. Okay. So likewise, the Azure has the data warehouse called Azure Synapse. In the same way, you have a Amazon. It has a cloud called what? Sorry, it has a cloud data warehouse called what? Redshift. In the same way, you have a Google. Google have a cloud data warehouse called what? BigQuery. Likewise, the Azure has the that is nothing but the Azure Synapse is called as the data warehouse of Azure. Data warehouse of Azure. Data warehouse of Azure. So as it's a data warehouse of Azure, this can store only the structured database. Unstructured and semi-structured is not supported. Okay. So we can say only the structured data is stored here. That's it. Whereas the next one, seventh one, we have it as what? Azure Elastic Pools. Elastic Pool is nothing but it's a group of databases operating on a single server, operating in a single space. That is called as what? Elastic Pools. So when we talk about the Elastic Pool, as it's the Elastic Pool, then obviously the group of databases. So group of database means what? It can store only the structured data here. Multiple databases we can store it here. In the Elastic Pool. Elastic Pool is a container where we can have multiple databases, guys. So this can also store what is structured data here. So these are some of the storages we have it. Now, guys, I will show you practically how many storages we have it. Totally, I said here 90 plus storages now. So for that, we have to start with the practicals now. So to go ahead with the practical, first of all, use to log in the Azure page, use the azure.com. And after logging into the azure.com, then you will have to give everything, that is your mail ID, etc., etc. Okay. And once your mail ID, everything is given here, then you have to give your credit or debit card details, where it will charge you 2 rupees from your credit card or debit card initially, but that will be refunded to you in 8 days. Okay. It's totally free of cost. So you can use it for 1 month. Okay. Then afterwards, once all the details are given here, then you will be rerouted back to work onto the page that is called as portal.azure.com. This is the page where you are going to work ultimately. So anyways, I'm starting up a browser here, everyone. See here, guys.
Samir, quick question. What is the need of Azure Elastic Pool? Because it's a structured data.
See, basically, you have multiple databases are there. Multiple databases you wanted to, okay, work with the multiple databases like a single database. Okay. Suppose you have one sales DB is there, one production DB is there, and one purchase DB is there, sales DB is there. Multiple databases, multiple informations are there. You want to keep all those informations at a place. At that time, we go with the Elastic Pools. Now, can you see it? Just type it here, azure.com. That's it. This is the azure.com. This is the page ultimately. Now click on the free account. Your free account is there. Click on the free account. And now guys, you can say start free. Don't use the pay as you go model, because the day one you will be charged if you use the pay as you go model. So you have an opportunity to use it free. And now get started. Pay as you go model with Azure, get free services, etc. Get monthly amount of selected service. Okay, select service free. Pay only for what you use beyond the free amounts. No upfront commitment. Cancel anytime. So anyways, guys, I'm using the free account now. Let's not use it here. Pay as you go. Let's click on the free account. So once you click on the free account, anyways, I'm already logged in. So hence it's giving you my mail ID here. This is my mail ID and the password is already saved. So if I click on the sign in here, now it will say, looks like you're already registered. You want to go with the pay as you go model, or you want to use the existing subscription. So whatever I have an existing subscription, I can use it. Click on your existing subscription here. Can you see it? If I use the existing subscription, it is rerouted me to the page called, what is that, portal.azure.com. Can you see here? On the top, it is portal.azure.com. This is the page, guys, where we are going to work now. Okay. So here on the top corner, right corner, you have a more services are there. Click on the more services. Now, guys, these are all the services we have it. See here. See, containers are some of the storages. 9 storages are here. Database is 21. 21 plus 9, 30 storages. Likewise, you have altogether many storages are there. These are the database storages. Likewise, we have many more storages. So all these are the various storages we have it. Totally, if you calculate it, guys, if you calculate it, it will be 90 plus storages. How many storages, guys? 90 plus storages are available. See here. These are all the storage services or many other services which are available into the Azure. These are some storages as well. This is 18 storages. So already we have calculated 30. 30 plus 18, 48 storages. Likewise, many more are there. So totally we can say 90 plus storages are available into the Azure, guys. That's it. Okay. So that's it. So this is the page we are going to work on to this. Clear, everyone? That's it, guys. So next one after this. So now this is the introduction we have completed now. Now let us start with the Azure Databricks. Okay, guys. We're getting into the subject now, guys. So Azure Databricks. That means Databricks we are using into the Azure. Okay. That means the Databricks, whatever we have it, that can be used not only with the Azure, it can also be used Databricks with the Amazon, AWS, Databricks with the GCP. But here I'm using what? Azure Databricks. I'm using what's that? Azure Databricks, guys. I'm using the Azure Databricks. Okay. So now, guys, the Azure Databricks working structure, how does it works basically? Now I'll take you to the page. Can you see here on the top, you have a Databricks, Azure Databricks. This is the service you have it. Everyone, can you see here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the red color one. You have the service. So open this. Now, guys, you have to define the service. That means create the service here. So how does it works? I'll tell you. So one Databricks session can have one or more resource groups. Resource groups, one or more resource groups. So resource group is nothing but what? Just a folder, guys. Just like a folder. I'll explain you. Can you see here, everyone? I think you're able to see my desktop. Just to see here, everyone, this is a folder. Customer is a folder. Open this. Under this customer folder, I have some files. Customer East and Customer South. Okay. That means these files are dependent for data on the folder. Am I right or not? If I delete this folder called customer, the files will be deleted here or not? Yes, of course, in fact. So that means this is a folder which has multiple files. In the same way, the resource group acts like the same. That means whatever the components you have it here, everything will be recorded in a resource group. That's it, in a resource group. So we can have one or many resources group in a session in the database. So then next one, what's it? You have it. One resource group is there. The next one, you can have what's that? Resource group is one. So that means the whole process, whatever we write it here, that will be into the the whole process, whatever we write it here, that will be into the resource groups. And one resource group can have what's it? One or more workspace. Workspace. What's that? Workspace. So what is a workspace? Workspace is nothing but basically this is called as a collaborative environment. Collaborative environment which allows multiple users to work into a single session. To work into the single session. That means what? Don't get confused. Don't get panic. See, guys, this is the Zoom link. Zoom link is there or not? So Zoom link is allowing multiple users. So now how many participants are there? Yes, guys, how many participants are attending this session now?
10.
Yeah, we have 10 sessions. Now, for all of us, one Zoom link is created by the Zoom people or by the DURGASOFT and given it to us. And this meeting will start at 7 a.m. So that means multiple users can attend this meeting. Multiple users can attend this meeting at the same time. That means this link is acting as a connecting interface for all of us to join and learn the subject. Am I right or not? So in the same way, that means can you say that multiple users can work into the session? Multiple users can work into the session where multiple users can work into the session, okay, and take up the session. That's it, okay, to join the session. And this link is provided by what? Zoom here. In the same way, this kind of a Zoom link, here we call it as a workspace where what is that? One data engineer, one data engineer, one data scientist, one data engineer, one data scientist, and one what is a database architect. Database architect, okay, then data analyst. All of them, they can work into the single session without changing the session. That's it, okay. They all can work into the single session with the help of a workspace. So workspace allows multiple users to work into the single session. That's it. That is called as a workspace, guys. Then after the workspace, guys, you will have, okay, after the workspace, you will have what is that? Yes, one or more workspaces we can have for a resource group. And now after the workspace, one or more workspace, can you see here? One or more workspace. Under the one or more workspace, we can have what's that? Cluster. So guys, cluster, what do you mean cluster? Cluster is nothing but group of machines working like a single machine. Group of machines working like a single machine is called as what? A cluster. Where that means what? Group of machines working like a single machine is called as a cluster. Where it has two type of machines in the cluster. What is that? The first machine is called as a master node. Node means machine, guys, and worker node. What should you have it? Master node and worker node. Master node and worker node. Now, this is the ongoing session we have it, everyone. Whereas, how many type of users you have? Can you tell me? This is the ongoing session we have it, everyone. So, how many type of users we have it? Yes.
Admin user, or based on the roles basically, right?
Yeah, host and the guest. Am I right or not? Host and the guest.
Right.
See, DurgaSoft is the host, and all of us are guests. Am I right or not? DurgaSoft is the host. That means this machine is hosted by DurgaSoft, and we all are guests in this session. And what is the right of a host? What are the rights the host has? The host can start the meeting, the host can end the meeting. Am I right? The host can start the meeting, the host can end the meeting, and the host can start the recording, and the host can end the recording. All these master, that is nothing but settings and controlling options are available with the host only. And the guest, we can log in, we can hear, and we can just log out. Am I right or not? Yes, we can use a chat box, that's it. In the same way, the cluster is like the same. Here we have it. All of us are connected to each other by using a single cluster, where the cluster has master node and worker node. That means what? Master is the host. Worker means we all are comes under the worker nodes. Getting my point? So worker nodes works on the instructions of the master node. Worker nodes works on the instruction of the master node. That's it. Okay. So cluster is nothing but the group of machines working like a single machine is called as a cluster. So together, both of them is called as what? Cluster. That's it. Okay. Next. After the cluster, guys, finally, you will have the notebook. Notebook means what? This is called as a user interface book. It is called as a user interface book, UI book, where we can write the code in following languages. What's it? Python, R, SQL, Python, R, SQL. Yes, guys. Python, R, SQL, and Scala. All these are the languages we can use it to write the code in the notebook. And once
What
it
about
is
PySpark?
PySpark is the combination of Python and Spark. So that is also there. We can say PySpark.
Okay.
PySpark also. So the PySpark coding, everything we write it on the notebook here. And once we write it, it will be sent to the cluster, where the cluster has the master node and worker node, and it will process the same. Okay. And under the workspace. So this particular notebook can be used by many of us. What's the data engineers can use this, data scientists can use this, database architect can use it. Am I right? Database architect can use it, and then we can use the data analyst can use all of them. And all this is a part of a resource group. So this is the hierarchical structure. How do we work it? Okay. So guys, this is nothing but the Azure Databricks session. How does it works? What's that? Resource groups, workspace, cluster, and the notebook. Okay. So anyways, how does it works practically everything? that we will see it tomorrow, guys, in the next class. Okay. So now, if you have any doubt, please you can go ahead and ask me now.
Yes, Abhay. So, as part of this course, which one are we going to cover in notebooks? Python or
We
PySpark?
are going to see on the PySpark basically.
Okay, right. Thank
PySpark
you.
and SQL.
Okay, great.
PySpark and SQL. R and all these things, just these are not much used, but I'll give you a basic introduction about this, the Scala and R. Okay. But we are going to use on the SQL and PySpark. This is the main
Okay.
languages we use it in the notebook now.
Okay, Sumit, thank you.
So any other questions, guys? Okay, guys. So tomorrow we'll start the practicals on this because we have seen the basic structure, everything today. So we'll start the practical. Yeah.
When we are gonna get this mouse, whatever you did it is done.
Yes, ma'am.
Video, today's video session.
The video session will be uploaded to you or will be sent to you by end of the day. Every day you will get these videos, video recording, whatever you have it, you'll get the video recording. Now, so basically the video recording, once you get registered, you will get it on the registered mail ID. And before that, you will get it on the mail ID, whatever the mail ID is given to you, they will send you directly onto this. A link will be sent to you for this video. And once you get registered, then you will have a Google Drive access as well. So on the daily basis, you will have the Google Drive access. You can have the same. Okay. And the timings of this course is morning 7 to 8 o'clock. This is the standard timings for us. Okay. So that's it, guys. And okay. So now, anyways, guys, we will create even a WhatsApp group to discuss the things. So over here is my number. So I'll give you my number. So directly you can WhatsApp me as well. So this is my number. This is my number. So you can just WhatsApp me to create a WhatsApp group. First of all, you need to give your name and then you can give your email ID. Name, email ID. Then you can have the mobile number, whatever you have it. If you want, you can mention it. But it's the same mobile number you're sending the message, that's not a problem. And then you have a course. So guys, course is, what is the course? You're using ADB 7 AM. You can mention this batch, okay? ADB 7 AM batch, you can mention it here, okay? So that I'll have an idea because I'm handling multiple batches. So this is the information. You can just share it with me on WhatsApp. So that a WhatsApp group will also be created and all the things, whatever we have it, then we can have it, okay? That is updates on the class. That is the frequently asked questions, FAQs, everything I'll share it on this, okay? Okay, so that's it, guys, for the day now. Any other questions if you have, you can ask me, or else we'll wind up the class. Okay. Thank you, guys, everyone, for attending. We'll just continue tomorrow, the same time. Okay. Thank you. 7 o'clock.
Yeah. Thank you, Sumit. Thanks, Servlet.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.